Hey guys, this is the English version of my video tutorial. There is also a German version available if you're interested. But I'm gonna show you now how you can set up my Kraken DCA script. So we start from the terminal. You can open a terminal on your computer. Doesn't matter if Linux, Mac or Windows. I hope the tutorial will be cross-compatible. I can tell you that it will work on Mac and Linux. For Windows, it's mostly the same. What I want to say about it is you can do it on Windows and nothing will break. At least that I can guarantee you. So we start by opening the terminal and first checking if we have Node installed. And you see when I type Node and enter, something's coming up. Usually you type Node -v and you see here 17.8. And my recommendation to you would be to use at least this version, because I don't know how much lower we can go with the script basically. So we made sure that we have nodes. Probably in your case it says node is not recognized. If that's the case, you basically have to go here, nodejs.org, and download the installer for whatever operating system you have. When you did that, you need to restart the terminal, and then you will be able to run this command node -v, and you will see anything here. If you see anything, you can be sure that it will work. So after making sure that we have that, we go to Kraken and log in with your credentials. And first we have to generate an API key, because this script doesn't log in on the web UI, it works only in the terminal. Therefore we need to generate an API key. As you see, I already have 2 of them. You can create as many as you want, but I want to lead you through the process. So first you click here on add key. By the way, how you get here is you click up here on your name, security, API, and this is where you will land. When you hit add key, there is a key description, enter whatever you want, doesn't matter. Leave everything as it is, and only use those 2 options, query funds and create and modify orders, except if you want to withdraw funds automatically. Because the script is capable of withdrawing your funds either once a month or as soon as you reach a certain Bitcoin target. So for instance, you say, whenever I hit 0.1 Bitcoin, I want to automatically withdraw the funds I've accumulated. Then you also need withdraw funds. If you don't intend to withdraw your funds from Kraken, you don't have to select this one, but those are vital. The script won't work otherwise, and it is a risk if you select more than that. That doesn't help at all, because the script only makes use of those 2, and of course the withdraw funds. I will check all 3 of them and leave the rest as it is. We hit generate key, then we enter our 2-factor authentication key. Let me check. So that's that. I don't know if you have to do that, but you probably need to enable 2-factor authentication. Those 2 keys that you see up here, you won't see them again. So for simplicity, I just copy them now and store them away here in my editor. Basically, the API key is the public key, and the private key, yeah, this is Kraken related and not the private key of your Bitcoin wallet or anything like that. Exactly, so we are ready to save this key. And as you see, it appears down here, and with that we can run our script. If we head to the README I wrote, we can scroll down. I've explained everything up here. Also how the withdrawal stuff is working. It's worth a read in my opinion, but I will give you the fundamentals now. What we can do is basically just copy the commands I've added here. So we create a folder called Kraken DCA Script and move into that folder. And next step will be that we download this file right here directly onto your file system. This is what this command here does. Should also work on Windows. I didn't check, but I googled it, so it should be fine. Do that, hit enter, and after that, when we hit ls, we see we now have in the folder the app.js file, which is really all we need. From here we have to copy this bad boy and adapt it, because this is just an example and it won't work. Those keys are already invalid. Oops, I went a bit too far. Let me clear the console anyway. So we first start entering the public key from Kraken that we just got. I copied it here. Let me select it and paste. Next, we will provide the private key right here. And I'm doing the full version. So currency, I give US dollar. If that's the case for you, you can just leave it out. You don't need to write currency equals USD. You can just remove the whole parameter. Not just the value, but also the rest here before. But I, in my case, use Swiss francs, so I have to set it to my currency, because yeah, I have some fiat left on Kraken, so maybe I can show you how it will work. Then there is the withdrawal target. This is optional basically. You don't need to provide it. This just means that as soon as I've accumulated 0.1 Bitcoin, it will automatically be withdrawn. Yeah, usually I would go way lower if I were you, maybe something like that. It doesn't make sense to wait until 0.1, except if you have huge amounts that you throw around. If you set the withdrawal target, it won't withdraw once a month basically, but only when you hit the target. Here the Kraken withdrawal address key, if you provide this, this basically enables the withdrawal, the whole process behind it, and it will always withdraw once a month, at the beginning of the month basically. As soon as a new month appears and your first buy order executes, it will then start to withdraw everything you've accumulated. If you don't want to withdraw anything, don't provide those two parameters. You can just remove them completely. Yeah, and if you only want to withdraw once a month, leave the withdraw target out, remove it. If you want to withdraw when hitting a target, add it and define your target like this. And for the Kraken withdrawal address key, what you need to know how this works. For this we go back to Kraken. Let me see. Yeah, this is where we go. You hit funding. Yeah, let me just show you. we hit funding. You see I have some Swiss francs here. Just got my salary, so I could recharge. And then Bitcoin, here you click on this arrow up, withdraw. When you did that, you will land here, and when you open this drop down, you will see all your addresses and also a description to it. And this description really is what we need, because Kraken doesn't allow withdrawals to direct Bitcoin addresses. It only allows withdrawals to addresses that are registered in here. And yeah, to show you how that works, here we basically write anything, and you would enter your Bitcoin address. I don't have one ready at the moment. And what you need to provide to the script is this guy up here. This string needs to be entered so that Kraken approves this withdrawal. So you saw I entered this. Obviously, I don't have an address that is called like that. I don't want to share my addresses, so this is just hypothetical. And yeah, if we enter that, we have everything. Let me quickly check. That should be it. Another parameter that we could add that I just noticed is the show accumulated Bitcoin parameter, which makes sure, I just noticed I didn't mention this here. Yeah, but it's really just a detail. Show BTC value. If we do that, you will be able to see your accumulated Bitcoin here in the console. So either we write through, or we just remove it and don't write any of this. But if we write this, add it like this, and also we need a date of cash refill. So this marks the day where your fiat deposit lands on Kraken. This will be a number from 1 to 28, because there are Februaries that are only 28 days long, and I didn't want to make the script too complex, so you can't add 30 or 31. So really choose a day between the 1st and the 28th of each month. Default is 26. Maybe you deposit at the 28th, I don't know. Just add the date here. This will be used by the script to calculate when the next deposit happens, and it will use all of your fiat money and convert it over time into Bitcoin, so that you run out of fiat exactly when this date hits and when your account gets refilled. Weekends and stuff are already considered, so you never need to adapt this number, and it will make one day as buffer, because you don't know at which time of the day the cash will land. But to not add further complexity, I will hit enter now and see what happens. And you see the first message. This is the current timestamp. Success. We bought 0.0001 Bitcoin at market price. The current Bitcoin price is so much in Swiss francs. If you provided another currency, you will see it in your own currency. The Swiss francs, we now have 1,500 left, and we've accumulated 0.08 Bitcoin so far. Also, it will show you when the next buy will happen. And because I added the date of cash refill 28, which is not true in my case, it will now buy every 23 minutes this exact order. If I cancel that and set 20, or I set it to 19 just to make sure, because 20 is what I usually use. Then you see I would buy Bitcoin every 2 hours basically. So 24/7, the whole week, all the time, all 2 hours, I would buy Bitcoin using the script. The more fiat you add, the more frequent those buy orders will happen. So if you add double the fiat amount that I do each month, then this time comes down to less than 1 hour. So you will be buying Bitcoin once per hour, which is pretty epic if you ask me. Right, that concludes it. I hope that helped. And maybe just to demonstrate that it really worked, if you go to trade and orders, you then see the timestamp of the order, you see the volume of the trade, and that it happened. So with that, I wish you good luck and thanks for watching this video.